everyone, hey and welcome back to yet another episode of Battle Rap Resume. This is your host Tom Quee. I'm here with the second edition of hashtag ASKBRR. This is my kind of blatant content grab here to make use of that measly monetization. No, but seriously, this is where I answer emails, comments, tag it Ask Battle Rap Resume, and I will get to it. I'm going through in these early episodes through kind of the email archive that I've accrued on battlerapresume@gmail.com. Please send me a message on there. I always get, always love to respond. Great way of corresponding. Also Battle Rap Resume on Twitter @BattleRapResume. You can follow us there. Please subscribe on the YouTube. Please leave us a comment, as I say, on iTunes as well. You can hashtag that @BRR if you want. Get in contact with me. The show is really kind of growing at the moment, and I want to shout out to everyone who's listening. We passed 2,100 subscribers. I know I keep counting, but it's just crazy. I want to give a huge shout out really to everyone that has been getting in touch with the show over the years or the year or so or whatever. And yeah, these are really fun to do, so hopefully you enjoy them too. Just before we get into the questions today, I've got the Patreon as well, patreon.com/BattleRapResume. If you want to help support the show directly, you can get access to loads of content. For instance, at the moment of us recording this will be out for relevant for the next couple of weeks. There'll be like top 10 Don't Flop drops with Lazy Ass Jack. We've got the top 10 funniest Don't Flop battlers with Pamphlet, which is a brilliant episode, seriously really good episode. Getting some great feedback from that on the Patreon. Also got interviews with Gemini, interviews with Blizzard, Luna ones coming out on there. So lots of riches on there. If you want to go on and support, check us out, patreon.com/BattleRapResume. But yeah, this is Ask Battle Rap Resume, and let's get into the emails. All right, so the first email is from Craig. Craig begins, "Hey Tom, firstly, I absolutely love the podcast and have really enjoyed listening. You present with the eloquence of a Radio 4 presenter," which is, that's a mighty compliment, thank you Craig. He continues, "I'm excited to see where it goes and which battlers end up appearing on the show. There's been some lackluster ones so far, but I understand you're trying to get the show off the ground." He puts in brackets, "No idea who wants to listen to Mac Sherry speak for 90 minutes. Now, I actually think the Mac Sherry one's quite a good early episode that people need to check out. I need to get Mac back on the show, actually. He's had a lot of battles since then because I do a catch-up with him. But a lot of people kind of slag me in the comments as well because I was like kind of hassling Mac and sort of, hazing him and stuff. But it was all, it was all in jest. I got a lot of respect for Mac, but, fair enough, Craig. He continues, "I'd love to see more King of the Dot rappers on the show, but understand this isn't as easy to facilitate." It's not, actually. Especially Canadian, which have kind of like, an 8-10 hour time difference. Like, I can kind of, like, the East Coast is kind of where I like to have international guests and stuff, and, like, certain things like with Saurus, who is obviously in Nevada, I think I had the day off work that day, so I could kind of afford to do it at whatever time or something like that. But, we are expanding in more ways than one, and definitely going to get some more international battlers on. We've got Real Deal, Ilmac, Topper, all said they want to be on, so we're gonna get into this yet. Very exciting, very exciting. But one dig though, which is Craig's next paragraph: "How are you going to host a podcast about battle rap and not know who Craig G is?" I have to admit, I haven't really even learned. In retrospect, I'm sorry, Craig, for your namesake. Craig says, "Hi, but if you're keen to know more about the early days of battle rap and the pioneers, there was a really good documentary that came out a few years ago called Freestyle: The Art of Rhyme. From memory, this covered all of the original Supernat, Juice, Craig G battles. Really good if you can somehow get a hold of it. No doubt it's on YouTube. Good luck with it all, bro." So yeah, I'll definitely check out the documentary. Thank you, Craig, and thank you for the great email as well. Mike is the next one. He says, "Hey, mate, wanted to email to say I love the podcast. I saw him about 6 months ago, and I first thought, I don't want to listen to 2 hours of that, but then listened to a couple, and now I've listened to about 20 of them, probably more. It had me reminisce about battle rap. I started listening to it in 2010, and I remember the first time I saw a Don't Flop vid and thought, wow, that's so much better than Jump Off. I checked my email for my first event. Blood in the Water 5 is where he went to when Sensor battled Arcane. Like you, Mike went back and watched old battles and found King of the Dots, so watched all their battles. URL, apparently Mike finds it a bit boring, but great talent. Well, I understand where he's coming from. He continues, it's so interesting listening to rappers break down bars and tell stories. Liam Bagnall could have spoken for literally days. Yeah, that is the Bagnall. I don't know when this was. It's maybe when I had him on first with Arcade, but obviously I had him on with Bamalam as well. That was number 33, Battle Resume 33, and I'm also hopefully going to have Bagnall on soon to talk about the current, what I'm terming it, the fall of the Rowan Empire. But I mean, you can call it what you like, but I think that kind of puts a little bit of a absurdist comedic slant for what is a horrifying truth of finance and betrayal. But hopefully Bagnall will come on to put his side on it. Who knows about that? But Bagnall could have spoken for days. Says, wouldn't say the same for Hulk, but again, interesting. Oh, okay. Mike's offering his opinions on the Hulk episode. I like the Hulk episode, but that's all good, Mike. He would love to hear from Lopeshi, as he's his favourite battler. Versus Nestle would be good. Organic would be good. Yeah, I'm not going to waste time mentioning English battle rappers because you clearly know what you're doing, is what Mike says as well. You make the interviews so interesting and keep a really good tone in the interview, which I like. I would like to hear a couple of questions. So here's some little questions from Mike here that are kind of pre-Ask Battle Rap Resume, but they come into play here. See, at the end of Battle Rap Resume episodes, I always ask, the same sort of 5 questions, which let me get your opinion on, by the way, in the comments. What do you think about the way that I end episodes with those questions? Do you like it? Do you want to hear more questions? Because Mike suggests a few questions here, which I think would be good to add to the repertoire. I've often tried tinkering with it, but yeah, if you're not too aware, at the end of each episode, I basically end with favourite Don't Flop, favourite King of the Dot, favourite URL battle, just kind of main for. Occasionally, I'll switch it up for like a grind time or a King of the Ronalds or whatever, depending on the guest. And then favourite film and favourite non-hip-hop musical artist or band, which I think is, quite interesting kind of turn at the end. I'm just curious more than anything, really. I kind of, listened to quite a few genres. I'm not like this kind of Encyclopedia Anthony Fantano sort of thing, but I just like, who does who listen to? And, it is always kind of interesting to know that. So, some of the questions Mike would like to ask the guests, which I'm definitely going to implement, who their favourite English rapper would be. Like to hear their views on paying rappers and the views on why, YouTube views have gone so high and the impact on the economy. Who their all-time favourite battle is as well, which is a question I should really ask. And battler, I'm being a little too broad there. I need to get a bit more, precise. He understands that I don't want to make it too controversial, which I guess is a thing. But he enjoys a deep analysis of the bars as well. And yeah, Mike concludes, really great work. Keep up the great work, man. I want to say, Mike, thank you so much. Really, really enjoying that. And then Mike actually, I've just got a quick addendum to this, sent me another email. I think this was like months later. And he was just saying, still enjoying listening to your podcast, mate. It'd be good to hear a podcast on the King of the Dot Massacre event once the announcement was finished. So far, looking great. I believe that was for Mass 3. So shout out Mike again. May have been Mass 2. There's been a lot of emails here, but, great email. Thank you very much. And next up, we have Callum. Callum begins, hi, Tom. I've been watching Battle Resume for the past month or so. It's a great way to learn more about the rappers and find out some behind-the-scenes type stuff. A great listen when I'm doing coursework at college, so thanks for that. I appreciate that, Callum. I never really used to listen to, if I was doing, coursework and stuff or schoolwork or whatever, I tend to listen to, instrumental stuff, like Brian Eno music for airports, or, I remember the first Fleet Foxes album, which kind of ages me slightly. I remember used to listen to that all the time, man. Such a good album. But fair enough, if you can listen to me yabber on, then I'm glad that I can help you. I just want to drop you an email, Callum continues, saying with some ideas for you that you could use in a bit of a giving back gesture. Now, some of these ideas that I'm going to get into now, I'm either working on or I think we've actually done stuff about it on the show. But yeah, they're great stuff. 3 best title matches, which I think, I'm not necessarily doing something that's best, but I've done an episode that's going to come out soon, with an up-and-coming King of the Ronalds battler, actually. Shout out Sam XM. And doing something soon, and we're doing, the history of the King of the Ronalds title, so we did that. And I think I'm doing something else with someone else. I've got a lot of irons in the fire at the moment. Best title matches, across leagues, so I think that is going to be done, but that's a really good one. Top 10 favourite bars would be, first, the definition of a bar. I guess you can argue about that till the cows come home, but kind of a line, a couplet, whatever. That would be fun. That would be fun to do. I would really enjoy that. I think I'd upset a lot of people because I'd choose a lot of Danny Myers and people would just be like, well, but I'm a big fan of the guy, QP and shit like that. But no, that would be good. Top 10 favourite flips as well. That's fun. That would be really fun. I'd like to flex my muscle, maybe get I don't know, O'Shea on board or Thesaurus or, you know what I mean? Something like that. I think that could be quite cool just to do some flips. Who knows? Most controversial moments would be a good one as well. Top 10 worst bars. Which is, yeah, I guess bad bars kind of exist for that thing. But that was the problem, really. Not the problem with bad bars, but for me, bad bars was a little bit too sarcastic when it was just kind of over-explaining. But I want, terrible, grammatically bad reach wordplay, which I guess it's not too easy to access in my memory. But 5 best shotty rounds, which, we've done best soul rounds with Crafty. We've done the best shuffler rounds. Why not Shotty? Maybe Danny Myers again, but no. Why not Shotty? Best use of props. I think me and Max Pepsi are doing a props episode. But look at all these episodes that you've given me, Callum. Thank you, man. 5 best events, which, yeah, that would be fun to do as well. And 5 favourite crowd participation moments. He concludes with just some ideas. I hope you decide to use some. I hope to see you at some of next year's events. Keep it up, man. Great. Another fantastic email. Thank you. We've got 2 more, and then we're going to get into the Ask Battle Rap Resume questions. The next email is from Lewis. Lewis says, hi, mate. Literally just a random idea for content on your channel. So, basing it around the underappreciation of battlers, a new guest, 1 per episode, presents to you why they think Battler X is underrated, talks through their battles, best bars, etc. Just an idea. For example, how much you like Dago Davalo, which, yeah, I am a huge fan of Dago Davalo. He's going to come on the show soon, hopefully. He's incredible. Just gives an opportunity for not only a chance to talk about some more varying battles, it also gives the battler a chance to push themselves. Something like that. Love the series. Anyway, please get Daylight on the show. That would be insane. Yeah, Daylight would be a joy. He actually, on Facebook, when you send someone a message and then they're like, accept your request, their message request rather than the friend request. They did that the other day. Devon Campbell did that. So is he aware of me? Was he just going through a kind of a purging? I don't know. But the line of communique is open. And in terms of sort of giving a battler an opportunity to talk about something else, that's something I definitely like doing on the show and want to do more of on the show. Having people on, having established battlers, not to talk about themselves though. We've done your battle resume. Let's just dig in. Crafty's a good one for that. Actually, I've had him on a few times. Crafty's going to be on for a new series, which exclusively I'm announcing now. It's probably going to be called either It Came From Verse Tracker or Verse Tracker Top 4, but obviously it's a Verse Tracker show where myself and Craft have already agreed on the date. It's about a week ago or so. We go onto Verse Tracker, we go onto the most uploaded, so i.e. this is the nexus point. This is any battle that ever happens gets uploaded here. Obviously check out my episode with Verse Tracker Ryan as well. That was great, very intriguing. The Google of battle rap, a look behind the scenes of that archive, that webpage. But we go on, we literally just pick the top 4 battles, so whatever battles they are. We managed to get Mike P and New Jersey Twerk, if that's right, and then some little no names. I think there's Rupert Hamilton as well. Remember Ogmios mentioning, but I can't remember the other guys. Apiola might have been the other one. It's kind of sticks in my head, but yeah, don't know the other 2 battles. And we're just going to review the battles. We're just going to talk about the battles as battle fans, analyze them contextually, analyze the writing. We don't know 80% of these guys, so it's just a dip into the unknown. So yeah, that's another show that's coming out soon. But thank you, Lewis. That was a great email. And finally, we have first name, last name. Shout out this guy. Always comments down below. So good friend of the show, big fan of the show, good friend of the show. There is going to be a Battle Rap Resume good friend of the show merchandise coming out soon. He says, "Hi Tom, I just wanted to say that I'm loving the podcast. I've been following Battle Rap for about 9 years, but it's through your podcast that I've discovered the likes of Laffenstalk and Dago Davalo." There he is again, Dago. "I've been going back through all of Dago's battles and he really deserves more views." Yeah, he does. "It would be great to have some more episodes in the future with lesser known battlers who may have gone under the radar, as it's a fantastic feeling when you come across someone who, unbeknownst to you, has been killing it for a while." I completely agree, actually. I felt that with Dago, and I felt that with quite a lot of the iBattle guys, and I guess the King of the Rolls guys as well, but because they're domestic, they almost don't feel undiscovered because they're so, so local. But yeah, I totally agree. It's a great feeling. He continues, "As I follow a lot of the smaller leagues as well as the major ones, I didn't think I'd miss anyone of such quality." But yeah, Dago, there you go. He's an enigma. He continues, "I would love to hear episodes where you discuss certain battles with definition." Yeah, I mean, he says more, and yeah, definitely, we're doing more. Me and Def are doing a Watchmen podcast. Did you notice that, Battle Rap fans? That weird cultural moment where Battle Resume and Def are doing this. Yeah, it's happening. First episode's out there. It's about a 90-minute exploration of the first issue. Watchmen's 12 issues, kind of like a short season, as it were. Such a joy to speak to that guy. Episode 2 coming soon. He says that my favourite episode, first name, last name, so far is either Ogmios, as he was very funny and seemed to have done a lot of prep for the episode by rewatching his battles, which, yeah, I agree with, actually. I definitely felt that with Ogmios. I felt, there was nothing he didn't remember, and he had quite clarity of his observations, so clearly I agree. He kind of relived them prior to his things. Or Psychosis Holocaust and Flex Digits, as they were interesting, talkative, and engaging. You know what? That Psychosis Flex Digit episode is easily one of the best Battle Resume episodes ever. No question. Shout out to Theo. I mean, he's been on the show again. We were speaking about Unit 11, which was a great conversation. Definitely not got the views, but him and Flex was such a kind of, it came together so quickly. I remember Theo, I think someone just tagged me because Theo put on Viewpoint "Oh, who does Battle Rap Resume?" And I was just like, oh shit. I was like, this guy, what if he wants to just attack me or something? But he was just like, I want to come on the show. And he was like, Flex Digits in the country for 2 days. Can we do the show? And, I scrabbled together my notes and we did the episode. And it was fucking brilliant. So yeah, I totally agree, man. Ogmios and Psychosis Holocaust and Flex Digits is brilliant. He finalises, "I look forward to listening to more and more episodes on the way to and from work in 2017. Battle Rap Resume all fucking day," is what he says. BRRAFD. Of course, this is Battle Rap Resume. Ask Battle Rap Resume. Let's get into your comments. These are, I'm encouraging now. Comment below, comment on this Ask Battle Resume 2 video that you're listening to, because all these comments that I'm reading out now were things people asked on the last video. Whatever you want to ask, I'll get to. Battle Rap or not, obviously Battle Rap preferred, but, if you want to talk about, I don't know, Watchmen or Tom Waits or Metallica, or a few other things, maybe the poetry of Norman McCaig, we can get into it, so ask the questions away. The first question is from Derida Mock. And he asks, "I don't know if you've even asked or answered this, but what do you think the future of UK battle rap is?" That's a huge question to ask. I mean, obviously the main franchise, of which there's only one really, okay, there's other leagues, there's King of the Rons, etc., but the main kind of, the mothership where everything kind of derives from is flagging at the moment, and whilst the owner continues to tweet, and I think the account tweeted like pamphlets, don't tell the bride thing coming up soon as well. So, there's a sentience there, there's an awareness, but the fact that no public statement has been made, no, recuperation really. Okay, Callum Martin comes on the show, it gets taken down because, someone asked for it to be taken down. Obviously, I'm not going to divulge that, but you can make your own conclusions there. But it's no longer up, which I'm kind of annoyed about, to be honest with you. Not outwardly, I'm not, angry about it or whatever. I get it, it's fine. And it, obviously got a lot of views, got a lot of subscribers, etc. I just thought it was really good. I thought I was really funny in it, which is a very egotistical thing to say. But, I did. I thought, I kind of enjoyed the situation. It was charged, not through Callum or anything. There's nothing against Callum at all, but just the kind of the context to it, because that's what I'm trying to get at. This thing is disintegrating essentially before our eyes. Don't flop. It's still existing, but it's just so rotten from the core. This cast of characters that we're so familiar with, the Krugers, the Bagnalls, the Bamalams, they're all these disparate forces, and it's not great. Deride and mock, in a sense, it's not great, but I suppose you have to look beyond this. But then again, I want to be hopeful. I want to point to, the dub scandals, the UKBLs. Okay, UKBL literally one event, but still, I've got faith in Koj. I'm going to be at that event, by the way, doing interviews and stuff. So definitely go to that event. Come there. We'll do some interviews, all that good stuff. But are these really? If Don't Flop flops, are these really going to be the backbone? Is that really going to, my fear for the future of UK Battle Rap is, things move in ages and generations, and maybe we've peaked. A lot of people seem to think, I don't know, Fifth Birthday peaked. A lot of people might point to the test, whatever. Who knows what's peaked from some niche artistic perspective. It was still functioning, it was still successful, it was still and battle rap as a whole. I mean, the future of battle rap where I want it, i.e. the writing. I mean, it's better than ever. Let's look at Shocks versus Soul. What a fucking incredible title match. Not only did it live up to every expectation, which is wild when you think about it. Looking forward to this battle, I was looking forward to it as this abstract concept that I couldn't even get my brain around really, because I was such a fan of both of these guys. It was how could it, but it's just lost for words. All hail Shocks. I'm sad for Shocks as well. I often think of the aftermath, the tremors of what's happened, and there's so many storylines that have just been snipped. Shocks' title defense should be talking about now. What Soul do? I know other people are booked and next in line still going down and stuff, but Press as well. Press won. He bodied Bilzar. He did, and I've seen Bilzar acting up, and there was this. Me and 142 were talking on Twitter recently, and look, I got to be honest. Best of respect to Bilzar and 142, of course. Innuendo Press 1 is a better battle than Bilzar 142. I'm going to say that categorically. It's a better battle. It's a more enjoyable battle, not only for Innuendo's kind of meta fourth wall breaking first on that MF, just criticising that beat so fantastically, only as Innuendo can do, but just the style that Press exudes, the way he fits punches into his rhythms. I just didn't really like Bilzar. He's visceral, and 142 has that underdog vibe, but I just preferred the matchup. I just preferred the, I mean, it's more long lasting for me for all that. But I've got a thought now. I don't really know where I am, but Bilzar, come on the show. So yeah, I mean, writing wise, I'm hopeful. I'm positive towards those dimensions, but it's just sad to see this thing that really, it sounds lame or whatever, but Don't Flop to a certain extent have a real place in my heart. Battle rap as a whole, but Don't Flop, when I go back and watch certain Don't Flop battles or think about certain events, they really take me back, because I was watching them at the time. I remember watching Tony D versus Definition with my mate Dave before we went on a night out, and we're just watching it in this guy's room because I just wanted to watch it. I was really excited. I remember lying on the floor of my uni room. These are quite boring places to watch battles, by the way, but lying on the floor of my uni room and waiting, being excited for Tony D Charlie clips to come out. I remember refreshing and I couldn't wait. I was so, and millions more. So for that reason, the future of UK battle rap is a little bleak for me, but creatively, both in terms of the pens at hand, whatever you think of pen as a phrase or not, and in terms of just the leagues that seem to be in the wellspring of kind of what's happened. Who knows? Hopefully, ASKBRR has made 20. We look back and this is kind of a delightful artifact of hysteria and kind of like a true soliloquy. By soliloquy, but yeah. So we get to the next question. Hopefully, I'll get answer this a bit more quickly. Kev KUFC asks, big fan from Dublin. What are your top 5 don't flop battles and why? Mine are number 5, Marlon Shuffle versus C Major and Cracker. Oh, that's such a good battle. Number 4, Calcium Kid versus O'Shea. Number 3, Lunacy versus Uno. Number 2, O'Shea versus Tony D. Number 1, Soul versus C Major. Right, my top 5 favourite battle. Now, I kind of, I got these questions together beforehand and I had to think about it, and I actually did an episode with Danny O'Gorman, who's the guy who designed the Battle Resume logo, one of my old friends, big Battle Rap head. We've done loads of episodes together. We did the 8 Mile thing recently and all that good stuff. We're doing top 5 favourite URL battles very, very soon, but we did top 5 don't flop battles initially. And I went back and I looked at my list, and it's pretty much the list I'm going to keep. I'm actually going to swap out number 5 for a retooled list, but as of now, July 2017, Tom Quee's top 5 favourite don't flop battles, they are as follows. Number 5 for me, Censor versus Psychosis Holocaust. I think the writing is impeccable. I think the atmosphere, I think both of these guys are really on top of the game. Like, they were huge figures of that scene. Such talented guys, such pioneers. And they clashed almost in their latter era, but they really brought out the best of each other. There's so much bubbling beneath this. There's so much physicality, but it's hilarious as well. Kind of this, this karate comic book, sort of academic in a certain sense, but very physical psychos as well. Don't get it wrong, but with Censor, the belligerence. By the way, how good was the Censor episode? But the belligerence of Censor. So yeah, fucking love that battle. Number 4 for me, C Major versus Ogmios. A pinnacle again for both of these guys. I think Ogmios' material, particularly in the second, is inspired. C Major is just probably his best, I would say. Probably the best I've seen C Major. Number 3 for me is a DF USA battle. I don't know if that counts, but Chilla Jones versus Math Hoffa. I love this battle. I really think this battle's fantastic. Like, I think Chilla's writing is terrific throughout, very intelligent. I think Math is hilarious. Love this battle. Number 2 is the same battle, Kev, that you yourself picked as well. This is Shuffle T and Marlowe versus Cracker and C Major. This is the de facto Shuffle T and Marlowe performance for me. I think Cracker and C are very, very good, but I'm really putting this up there for Shuffle T and Marlowe. I think they're astonishing in this battle. And number 1, as I'm sure many people know, it's been mentioned in the comments that I mentioned this battle way too much. Number 1 is Soul versus Matter. It's my all-time favourite don't flop battle. I think I'm going to do a video soon on that battle. I'm literally going to do, similar to how I did that Afghan Dan, Peace Soldier video and all the other Toposaurus, all those other reviews. I think I need to do like a proper analysis of the battle, because it's just, it's absolutely, it's my favourite battle of all time. I mean, any league. So yeah, shout out for the question. Great question. Next question is from my guy from Jamaica. I had this guy, Wildman Wildemez, on the show. Gonna have him on the show many more times before. We did a fan cast together. I don't think it'll be out by the time I release this, but it'll be out in about a week or so. Brilliant chat with this guy. Awesome guy. Huge fan of battle rap, all the way from Jamaica. He asks, what was your battle rap name? Now, it had 2 names, really, but I did an episode, Battle Resume 50, that kind of very important milestone, and I did it about myself, of course, with Sam Wall. Shout out that guy, very good friend of mine, the interviewer. Soliloquy, the episode's called Soliloquy. My name was Soliloquy for 75% of my battle career. My first battle I was called Clandestine. I always like the word clandestine with a C. I learned it from a Thomas Hardy poem as a youth, and it means secretive, submerged, espionage, that kind of idea. And to be battle rappy, I misspelt it and put a K instead of a C. And clan, obviously with a C with a K, is the worst decision in the world. Wildemez, I changed it because it was clearly an idiot decision, to Soliloquy, which obviously puns off my surname, which a few people have noticed, Tom Quee, Soliloquy. And I always liked it, a soliloquy, I guess, is a kind of battle rap. Like, it's kind of performing to the crowd apropos of your the kind of other people on the stage acknowledging to a certain extent that the crowd are listening, that there is this wall break. So yeah, Soliloquy is the name. I have done an episode. He mentions if I've done an episode on the battles. I have done an episode on the battles. On another note, big up yourself. Thank you, man. You should have a lot more fans from Jamaica. I agree. So thank you so much, Wildemez. We did a fan cast, as I say. Check that out. Also check out his channel as well. The guy did like a fucking 2-hour review of Shuffle T and Marlow versus P Soldier and Matter, like an in-depth, like really getting under the skin of it. It's regular battle rap. The number one. We laughed about this on the episode, but he is the number one Jamaican UK battle rapper. It's quite a niche, but he's number one. Jack Quest asks, I would love to hear DK and Zayn. Those would be great episodes, actually. DK, oh man, we agreed to it so long ago. Like, really, I think in 2016 or something, because I remember I was in the old place I used to live when we were supposed to the episode, but for some reason it didn't come about. I've got the notes to hand, so we definitely need to do that. That would be great. And Zayn would be a fantastic guest, no doubt. I loved going through, whenever we go through Zayn battles on the show, i.e. had Bear Solutions on recently, and we spoke about it. Also, what else do we do? Grist with the laptop, Respect BA as well. They're always fun. The bars are, always hilarious. The fabled Lost Battle Rap Resume 8th birthday pre-party interview with Zayn and Danny. Ryan Morgan, please release it because it's so good, but if that doesn't come out, Zayn Azrai will be on the show. Why the fuck not? Why have I not got Zayn Azrai on the fucking Battle Resume? Yeah, that is ridiculous. The next question comes from Rusty Trolley. Rusty commented, what's your favourite old jump-off battle? Now, I did think about this, actually, and I've got to be honest with you, there aren't too many that, leap to the front. If you ask me Don't Flop a URL, mentally I'd have to brigade it, but now it's not too much. But there is a battle that I always enjoyed that I kind of, remember watching ages ago, kind of seeking out Archaic and as a WRC kind of duo and then finding Archaic's battles, but really love Stig and Respect BA versus Archaic and Koolez. It's kind of outside a pawn shop in Soho, and brilliant. The way that Stig and Respect kind of bounce off each other with the flips, fantastic. Archaic is that kind of raw, kind of, energetic sandpaper-like bars. I don't really know what that means, but, the archaic sort of obelisk that he is. Koolez is there as well. Shout out Koolez. But yeah, no, that's probably my favourite jump-off battle, man. So yeah, thank you for commenting. Johnny Guns comments, congrats on reaching over 2,000 subs, dope channel. As a UK person, I assume you speak mainly on UK battle rap, yeah, that's true. Do you think it would betray your audience if you spoke on US battle rap more often than you do, particularly URL? Do you think speaking on URL, UW, Queen of the Ring, Rare Breed Entertainment, RBE, King of the Dot, Black Ice Cartel, Guerrilla Warfare, A-Hat, etc., would expand the audience and garner more views? Just curious. Just curious, because Tanika Tan and BCHQ, two UK bloggers, mainly speak on US battles. So you prefer US battles in general, or just flying the flag because no one else is? It's a good question, actually. I have done a lot of content on URL. I continue to do content on URL. I recently had Dom on. We did a double impact preview and stuff like that. I did my top 10 most disliked URL battles recently. I'm a huge URL fan. I've had not had many URL people on. Does Dirtbag Dan count? Obviously, I had Sue Serve as well. I've been trying to sort of penetrate pause into that market. And, John to Dom we were chatting about as well. Obviously, I've had Serious Jones and stuff on the channel in person, but I definitely want more URL people. I think the URL battle resumes would do quite well. Big T would be a good one to get on, especially because of his, Don't Flop affiliation. DNA would be fantastic. Arsenal, people like Ill Will, Danny Mike. There's so many people. QP, Loaded Lux. Why the fuck not? So many people would like to get on. Big Cannon. Hopefully going to be on the show soon. We've been emailing back and forth, so should be able to get something locked in. But the main reason is the niche, I think, Johnny. It's just that, with US battle rap, it's covered from so many angles. And with UK battle rap, it's a niche. It's a real niche. Like, no one else is doing, a revival, whatever, recap or a checkpoint, it's just not there. So I'm being smart in a sense where I just, but I'm also, it's what I'm comfortable with. But I'm not uncomfortable with URL in the slightest. I'd happily, really I should be doing a Born Legacy Supreme preview and all that sort of stuff. But it's just, the audience isn't there, weirdly, for the previews and well, I don't really do recaps, but for the previews, I found that markedly less of the subscribers listen to the URL content, so I'm just kind of at this moment marking towards what works best. But no, I appreciate the comment, man, and it's not just flying the flag really, but obviously I would love if URL, I know Norbs and Shocks are tight, and there's going to be that sort of gift of the gab event soon, but if they got a bit more integration there, because I think having to see it was like a Soul or a Raptor or a Gemini especially go onto that stage would be brilliant. But next question's from Linwoods Matthias. He says, congratulations on reaching over 2,000 subscribers. What kind of penalties should there be for battlers who don't perform to an acceptable standard? You can define what acceptable is. Should leagues, platforms not book them for the next 3 events? Should leagues put the battler on blast and speak on their disappointment of the battler in the blog? Should the battler get only half their pay? Should they get paid less time? Should there even be a punishment? Remember, there is a symbiotic relationship between the battler and the league. One can't really do without the other successfully. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, again, that's kind of a UK-US divide, because we don't really see that so much, because obviously there's so few leagues in the UK that you can't have it where it's like, it's a B Magic who's going to, spit that heat, or even lower than, like, I do love that about Battle Rap to a certain extent. I love seeing, like, Clips and DNA, and they're just battling in, like, what the fuck is this league in, like, I don't know, Idaho or some shit, but it's like, it's just kind of, Battle Rap spans everywhere. Shout out Verse Tracker. Should there be a penalty? I don't know. I mean, there is this, I think I see this argument, especially in URL as well. There is this clamping down, this rules ideology, time rounds, because then it's fair, and like this, this comment as well, this idea of sort of, for the battler sort of thing, what's the standard? And I think it's kind of works itself out in battle rap. You see this in any league, and kind of the whole thing itself, like, reputation precedes you, and there is a sense in Mathhoffer now that there wasn't back then. Now he kind of is a slightly questionable. You don't know whether you're going to get a kind of the doubles Cortez performance, or a T-top performance, or Big K performance. You don't know where it's going. Whereas someone like Hollow, someone like Soul, someone like Sharks, someone like T-top, they have a precedent, they have a reputation there. So I wouldn't be really down for defining penalties. I mean, should the leagues put the battler on blast and speak on the disappointment in the blog? I mean, you see that sometimes with certain things, don't you? You see smack on All Hip Hop and stuff like that, and whatever, battlerapp.com, and they made their opinions clear. So, it does happen to a certain extent. Should the battler only get half their pay? I mean, maybe some sort of payment penalty just to instill this better sense of, rehearsal within the battler, but who knows? That's a very difficult topic there. And the final question comes from Canada. She asks, do you think women in battle rap will ever be seen on the same level as men in terms of skill? That's it's an interesting question. I mean, to a certain extent, yeah. I think it's inevitable progression, and we've seen in the quality of the female battle rap coming through. I'm thinking especially like, for instance, Official battling at the Bunker versus Disaster. I know it wasn't originally prescribed as that battle, but, and other kind of things. I'm not, I don't really want, I'm kind of a little bit out my depth with female battle rap. It's not to say I don't watch it and I don't come across it, but I'm not kind of actively pursuing it. I would like to have, Official on, and there's been some crazy talent in Don't Flop as well. I'm thinking like DK especially, unbelievable freestyler, really skilled MC. There's so many different levels there. Do I think the women will ever be seen? I mean, seen is the key verb there, really. I don't know. There is this kind of misogynist element in battle rap, unfortunately, that goes through the writing, and you have to almost adopt that as a counter tactic as a female, it seems, kind of not embrace it, but just kind of acknowledge it rather than just being on par. So, Tanya, I don't know. It's a difficult question. Please, I want to say as well, as with this question, as with all the other comments, what do you think about what people have said as well? Let's start a discussion down there. It'd be great to see. And finally, just going to wrap up quickly with a recap of the channel. In a certain sense, this is something I used to do on Resume Review as well, where I just sort of go through the month or so. So we'll go from basically kind of late June onwards on the channel, and just sort of recap some of the videos and stuff like that. Maybe something you haven't listened to. So yeah, first up was Battle Resume 79 with Dirtbag Dan, which is obviously a crazy episode, a kind of meeting of minds with the podcast Illuminati. It was great to have him on as well, because he was one of those guests that has so much history stored within him that you could really just let him talk. So that was great. Obviously, loads of interviews as well from April Fools, catching up with all the guys. That was it was really fun to do. Shout out to Makar as well for doing the footage there. Also had Snoop on, went through Gift of the Gab, Order and Chaos 2. That was the event preview. Shout out Snoop. Also had Scoop on as well. That was Battle Resume 80. Nakaya came on for the King of the Dot Massacre 3 preview. UKBL Coach. God, there's so many episodes, isn't there? I need to really get a life. UKBL preview with Koj. Then a Rob Wilson on for Battle Resume 81. Great episode. 8 Mile review, which is actually like 6 months old from the Patreon, but just sort of bunged it on there with Danny. Best and worst battler names with Mark Angel Bright was a lot of fun as well. Saurus was on. Did the Revival 9 recap. Did ASKBRR Resume 1. Did my little 2K subs celebration video. Then we had Censor on, and then finally Lush as well. What have we got coming up? We got Tenshu in terms of Battle Rap Resume. We got Blizzard. We got Dundee. We got Jay Dillon. You know, we got lots and lots of great guests coming up in the pipeline as well. Bobby Rex recorded that yesterday. Also, in terms of our sort of general discussions, we got Gemini coming on. Luna was recorded. We got a top 10 funniest Don't Flop battlers, as I mentioned, with Pamphlet as well. We got the Lazy Ass Jack top 10 drops. Bad Bear on for top 5 Don't Flop training days, body bags. Crazy shit, man. Really good content coming out. Please support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/BattleRapResume, at BattleResume on the Twitter. Please subscribe to us. Please comment. You know, I'm really sort of putting it out there because I'm loving it. You know, I'm really enjoying doing this show, and I appreciate episodes like this are kind of a bit more of indulgence compared to the wider kind of thing. But everyone that's listening, I really appreciate that. Please ask Battle Rap Resume. Hashtag AskBattlerapresume. All your questions in the comments below. I'll get to them in AskBattlerapresume 3. Maybe in about a week, 2 weeks, something like that. You know, you can expect it kind of mid-August, I would say. But yeah, comment below. Great to hear from you. And yeah, thank you so much, guys.